All right, welcome back to Horse Racing today for more coverage of the Breeders' Cup, the 2022 Breeders' Cup. We're doing a little preview today. Still don't have post positions, but we've got quite a bit of information that we can go over to help you guys make the right picks. All right, so the next race that we are looking at is race number 10 in the program, and that is the Breeders' Cup Turf. We're looking at 1.5 miles on the turf. Profile of winners for the current Keeneland meet of this type of race. We've only got 4 races to look at, so take with that what you will. But what we've got, limited data points to outside stalkers and closers. Interesting. I feel like we've seen so much speed on these other races, so that is something to keep in mind. Key facts about this race: Invaders again. Foreign horses have won 6 out of the last 7 starts. And the average winner has paid $17.60 with only a pair of favorites hitting the wire, first in the last 10 years. So this race has quite a few different things going on with it compared to some of the other ones we've been looking at. And as you can see here, we've got, a lot of red, a little bit of green, but I mean, with such a small sample size, it's hard to tell how much that's going to help us out. But let's talk to some people who will know what can help us out, and that is our handicappers, Rich and Terry. Hello, happy to see you guys. Let's bring on the Blue-Eyed Smoke Show to give us his opinion for this race. What do you got for us, Terry?
Well, let me tell you, I absolutely love marathon races. This is 1.5 miles, and I love War Like Goddess. She's won 9 out of 12 career races, and she's perfect at this distance. She's 5 for 5 at 1.5 miles. She's also won 2 out of 2 races at Keeneland, so she's perfect there. Then I like Rebel's Romance. He comes in from Germany after winning 4 races in a row and is perfect for today's distance. And then my long shot pick is Nation's Pride. He's been performing excellent since arriving from Europe, winning his last 2 races, which were a grade 1 and a grade 3 contest. And I think the race scenario is that Channel Maker will go to the front and try to lead this race all the way to the finish line. But I think War Like Goddess and Rebel's Romance will close, and one of those 2 will win it. Most likely, I think it'll be War Like Goodness.
All right. That sounds good to me, but let's see if Rich agrees with you or if we're going to come to blows again. What do you got, Rich?
Terry's been in my notes again. This guy, this dastardly guy over here, but just a little bit different. These German horses, they last year was the year of the Japanese horses. This is going to be the year of the German horse over there, Rebel Romance. Now, to make it sound a little bit more German, and I get to do this because my family's from Germany. I'm first generation born here, so I got that card. But, in order to say it, you got to say it like a German. Rebel Romance. That's the only way you can pronounce that name. Right?
Sir, we do not need that. This is not an, what is that called? What is the program where kids aren't allowed to watch it? You need to tone it down.
A lot of them kids aren't allowed to watch. But anyway, I think this horse is going to do really well. If you look at the horse at the distance, 4 times, 4 wins, been just really strong. Like I said, the German horses really have showed up this year in big races. Whatever they're doing in Germany, it seems to be working. They can't keep the lights on. It seems like they can get the horses rolling. I also like Terry's War Like Goddess. This horse has been absolutely brilliant, like our hostess has been for all of these shows. Aww. 5 for 5 at the distance. And also just one of those horses at Keeneland, 2 for 2. So likes the distance, likes the track. But when you watch War Like Goddess, and I don't know about you, Terry, if you feel the same way, it's just like she grinds all the other horses down and she just like saps their will and goes by him at the end. And I think that's what War Like Goddess will do if Rebel Romance doesn't get the job done. And then my long shot here is going to be Broom. In a lot of other races might not be the long shot. I think this horse has a really good chance to get overlooked because the 2 races that it's had in the United States hasn't won. And I think finished out of the money in one of them too. So I think there's a good chance that Broom is overlooked. But if you look a little bit deeper and you look at the performances in those races, ran against some horses that just ran phenomenal starts. If Broom runs the average U.S. race that it's run so far, I think that's more than enough to bring the winner home right there.
Yeah.
And this time, Charles is agreeing with me, I think, Charles.
Yeah. Well, Broom ran in that Breeders' Cup Turf last year. I was there and watched it, and I actually thought that horse was going to win that race, and just barely got caught by Yibur. So, yeah, I think that you're on the right track there. It's actually my 4th pick.
So Ronaldo De Gallo says, should Warlike Goddess be running against her own sex in the Breeders' Cup Distaff? What do you think, Terry?
Well, I think she's good enough to run against the boys, and I think she's right. I think it's going to be better to run in this race. I think she's got a really good chance of beating the boys.
Yeah, like I said, she just grinds everybody down, and you just watch those races, and it's just like you could just see her eating up at the end and just coming, and it's like everybody else. In the old days in golf, the golfers would say they could hear the roar of the crowd with Tiger Woods in the background, and it would demoralize them. I just get a sense that Warlike Goddess is like making all kinds of noises coming down the stretch, and all the other horses hear it, and they're like, "God damn it, here she comes again." So if you haven't checked it out, though, Ronaldo writes some really great stuff for us over at horseracingtoday.net. I mean, he does some research, man. He goes deep. So if you haven't had a chance to check out his work, make sure you come over to horseracingtoday.net. You can look him up. Just search Ronaldo's name. All of his stories will come up. I think you'll be absolutely impressed by the depth that he explores.
Absolutely. And we've got another comment here that I agree with. Nation's Pride. Yes, I liked Nation's Pride and Rebels Romance. And when Appleby comes to the Breeders' Cup, he does not come to play. That's for sure. That is a very consistent Breeders' Cup choice to make, is to back practically any horse that is running with Appleby. So yeah, I like Nation's Pride and Rebels Romance. They both look good to me. Once again, no one asked my opinion, but I am an expert on giving opinions that aren't asked for. So you're welcome. And
little curtsy now.
Yeah. Ding. Okay. So I'm like the little emoji. All right. We will keep rolling with our Breeders' Cup coverage. We've only got one race to go. So thank you for tuning in, and keep on coming for the big drum roll Breeders' Cup Classic coming up next. And you can check out all the other races in case you missed any of them. We will have links to those in the description right below. Look along the banner here for all the ways that you can find us on social media, on YouTube. Horse Race the number 2 day is the best way to find us, and make sure that you get all of your information so you can find yourself in the
Winner's Circle.